Hi, homeschoolers. Thank you for joining us today for another Homeschool Live presented by the Old Schoolhouse. Today, I will be interviewing Tiffany of LeapFrog and VTech, who will be sharing with us about an incredible app called LeapFrog Academy, as well as LeapFrog in general. And both Tiffany and I would be extremely grateful if you could take a minute right now and share this video in your timeline with any families you might know who have younger children, preschoolers, elementary age children. And throughout the interview, please comment, like, and feel free to ask questions. And now I'm really looking forward to introducing you to Tiffany, who has joined VTech in 2014 as product manager. In this role, she managed the development of more than 30 toddler preschool products for the US market before transitioning to the marketing team. Tiffany now leads the VTech and LeapFrog public relations and influencer marketing programs, leaning into her experience as a millennial mom of 2 kids. Hi, Tiffany. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Heather. I'm so excited.
I am too. I know our viewers are going to be so excited to hear more about everything LeapFrog has to offer. Could you share a little bit about LeapFrog with us?
Of course. So for anyone who's not familiar with our LeapFrog brand, the LeapFrog brand was essentially started in 1995, so over 25 years ago, by a man named Mike Wood. And he essentially started the brand because he was looking for a product to help his little boy learn to read in a fun way. And I love telling that story because it feels so relatable, right? Like you try and find something, he just went out and he did it and he made it. And the founding principle of that brand is helping kids learn in a really, really fun way. And that's kind of guided us our entire history, which is pretty cool.
So you said it was 25 years ago that it started?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I have, some younger children and older children. And in my mind, when I think of LeapFrog, my mind always goes back, maybe not 25 years ago, but a while ago. And I just can picture these little tablets that you could get. Kids would bring them in the car and they would buy little cartridges and get little books. Oh, they were always like totally engaging. But clearly LeapFrog has, expanded from there. And one of the products that you offer is LeapFrog Academy.
Yes.
And I would love if you could share with us about that program.
Yes, I was so excited to talk to you about this because I think it could really be beneficial for anyone in the homeschooling community, anyone in general, but we do tons of research with kiddos and with parents. And the number one insight we hear from parents is this strong desire for their kids to be prepared for school curriculum, but also life. And this goes beyond the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s, right? Which we do have tons of products that can help with any of that and make it really, really fun. But we noticed that there was a gap in the market for those traditional skills and then also those additional skills to prepare for life, 21st century skills, STEM, social, emotional, those types of things. So that's kind of where LeapFrog Academy came in for us. And this is essentially our interactive learning program. It's step by step. Each kiddo takes a learning adventure that is selected by a parent. There's over 32 different learning adventures. And my little one, he's 5, he's on his learning adventures preparing for kindergarten. And it can be broad like that, or it can be specific math skills and literacy and reading, those types of things too. It can hone in or be very general. But what's great is that there's tons of eBooks and games. There's so many different ways for them to learn. Keeps a variety of ways to introduce the curriculum. But everything we do is grounded in curriculum, but it's made to be fun. So it's like, it's a game, right? But we also know that kids learn at different paces and different rates. So it's going to have a review system within the platform. So if they succeed or if they need a little more work on something, it is served up by an expert in their learning lab to enhance those skills in different ways with additional activities, which is my favorite part. Because my little guy, he's working on, the sounds of the letters. And sometimes, we don't get all you earn marbles in the game, and he didn't get all the marbles last night. So we did some extra activities in his learning lab. It's really, really customized to each and every child and their learning journey. And I love that. And it's created by PhDs and learning experts who are very grounded in all of these different curriculums.
So what age would you say this is geared towards?
Yeah, so the program or the app is developed for kids 3 to 6.
Okay. All right. Well, I know a lot of us, a lot of people watching are probably visual learners. So I am going to throw a video on just so before we continue, everyone can get an idea of what you're talking about, because this is an incredible app. So here we go.
Welcome to LeapFrog Academy, a guided learning program developed by LeapFrog, the leading brand in educational play. Kids set off on their own learning adventures with educational games, eBooks, videos, and activities that teach school and life skills. For learning on the go, kids can even choose their favorite games to play offline. Help build the skills they need for school and life with LeapFrog Academy.
I love it. You know, so when I saw the kids in the video, I noticed they had green little laptop things, or tablets, I mean. I remember a few weeks ago, I was looking for a tablet for my kids, and I kept running into LeapFrog Academy, and I didn't get it. Like I hadn't heard of this app yet. So can you explain, is there an actual product that you can buy, or is this something that you would use on your own tablet? Like how exactly does it work?
This is confusing. So I apologize for that. No, so it works essentially just like a regular. It's available on iOS, which is like if you have an Apple phone or certain devices, you can go into their app store, search LeapFrog Academy, or it's also available in Google Play. And then the green that you see is our tablets. We have the LeapPad Academy tablets that are available, and it comes standard on our tablets, but you can get it on almost any of your working devices.
Okay. So the tablet, does it just use, is it just for LeapFrog Academy, or can you access other?
Yeah, so it comes actually pre-baked with 20 different learning apps plus LeapFrog Academy, but you can absolutely download different learning apps and use it like a traditional tablet as well. But the great thing about the LeapPad Academy tablet, other than it comes with LeapFrog Academy, it's also got tons of parent controls, which is really, really cool. So you can, put timers on all the traditional stuff, but then there's extended parent controls as well.
And speaking of parent controls, I noticed, I think it mentioned it in the video, and I also noticed when I was looking around on the app that you can actually download some of the games to use offline. Is that true?
Yes, it's so cool. So you can essentially, as the kiddo is on their learning journey, they are introduced to different activities and games, but then there's also a searchable library as well. And kiddos or parents can add to favorites any of the activities, eBooks, games, music that they know their child likes or that child likes, and they can play them without Wi-Fi. So we know kids and parents are consuming different digital content in different ways. And so we wanted to make sure that we were accessible everywhere they are, right? So sometimes they're playing outside, but they need to still be, doing their schoolwork. So yeah, it's absolutely, it's definitely applicable to be able to play without Wi-Fi for sure.
I love it. And you use the term schoolwork, and I think, maybe it's a little confusing. Okay, is this a game or is it school? But you know what? I really think from what I saw, it's definitely both. And so I had my 3-year-old try it and my 5-year-old try it, and both of them were 100% completely engaged. And I just want to say, so the 3-year-old, it's funny because obviously, you're going to put a tablet in their hand. They're going to be excited at that age. But my biggest problem with that age is I like to set boundaries, and I like to say, you can only play for a certain amount of time. And the way that this is set up is it has, I noticed is it different maps kind of, or different, they can complete.
Yes.
Yeah. So the learning adventure is what they call it. So once they complete that, then it's completed. And so for my 3-year-old, that was just like a really good amount of time. It wasn't too long, too short. He felt like he got his learning in, he felt like he got his game in, and he was happy with that. And he wasn't like screaming and crying, wanting to play more. which, and so it was really great. I'm like, okay, then you can play again tomorrow. So I just really like that it's in perfect bite-sized segments for that age.
Yes, that's exactly what we call it, bite-sized learning.
Oh, really?
Or snack size. Yeah. It's real. We designed it that way because we know every family and every parent is different in their, level of being comfortable with an app and learning digitally. So we wanted to make sure that, yes, the like games and the activities are, like you said, they're bite-sized, they're snackable, right? So it doesn't change the amount of curriculum that's being offered. So we try to go deep pretty fast so that they can do that activity and be done. If they only get one, they still learned a ton in that first activity.
Yeah. And I mean, when people always ask me, outside of the technology aspect of teaching preschool, in their mind, they think, okay, if I'm homeschooling a preschooler, I need to have curriculum for the entire day because other people send their kids to a school. And I'm like, no. Because I taught preschool, and the actual time that was allotted for the actual instruction was only 20 minutes a day. Everything else was, just play, crafts, just, and so it was all, educational still, but their attention span, we all know, at that age, it's just not going to be an entire day. Yeah. So I just love how you were so mindful, when the company created this and they understood that.
Oh, good.
It's great.
So yeah.
And so I just want to, just rave about this product because, okay, so my 3-year-old, he was so excited because he has this new thing where he's really obsessed with astronauts.
Oh,
so he finished a level or what did you call it again? Sorry.
Like a learning adventure?
Okay, a learning adventure. He finished the learning adventure. And then he was able to pick, a helmet or a hat. And so, of course, he picked the astronaut helmet. But then with that, now I can't remember the term, but there was these different space items that he could now go for. Was that like a collection or something?
They're essentially like unlockable rewards. Okay. Because we know kids love to collect stuff, right? Like rocks and sticks in the back of their tricycle, or just collectibles are so important to them. So yes, they can collect these items for their avatars. And it's also really important for us to make sure that kids know that they're unique, and so is their avatar, because their avatar is representing them on their learning journey. So they can earn these types of marbles, which are kind of a currency within their learning adventure.
Okay.
Bring them in for all their he wanted his little astronaut helmet.
Exactly. Yeah. So now he, there's like a rocket ship and these different things. I think, there was all these different space related things that he can collect. And so he's really excited. So
totally.
Yeah. And as a mom,
pick out a pet.
What's that?
Eventually he'll get to pick out a pet. That's
cool.
my son's favorite part is he likes to earn all the little animals. So
fun. We haven't gotten that far yet. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. So fun.
And so then I also want to talk about my 5-year-old, right? So my 3-year-old is doing the preschool, and my 5-year-old, I imagine, is doing the same when you're talking about introduction to kindergarten or some, kindergarten. And I just want to say, I am just so impressed because a lot of times if I get a new app or a book or something that's for kindergarten, it just goes back to super basic. And my kindergartner's like, I already know this. But he popped in and he was already, it would be 57. What number comes before that? It wasn't 8. What comes before that? He knows that. Yeah. So it was challenging, but it was what he needed. And it was just so perfect. And as he's doing this, I'm like, they knew what they were doing. They created this, they knew exactly what they're doing. And it was just so perfect. And again, with the bite-sized, segments that they have for the kids, it's the perfect amount of education and games. So some of these games, my kids are they're loving it because it's so similar to games that their older brothers and sisters are playing. Yes. And they're awesome.
Well, it was essentially, it's designed for learning, right? But it's built for play. So we want them to have fun, and they know they're learning, but they also know they're having fun. And I love that you said that it was it was so well thought through in regards to that he wouldn't get bored. And that's part of the responsive programming inside of LFA. So it is designed to know that whatever your child accomplished in that first learning adventure or that
Okay.
wherever he or she netted out within that activity, we're going to go a different direction based on their progress. So it's different every time. Every child's adventure is different based on their learning.
I love that it's intuitive like that.
They're all learning differently.
That's excellent. That's really good to know. I mean, that's what parents want for their kids, you know.
Totally.
If they're going to be putting, you know, the money or time into this, they want something that's going to benefit each child. And
Absolutely.
a lot of us, go ahead.
Yes, I forgot to mention too, you said that you have your 5-year-old and your 5-year-old playing for the LeapFrog Academy. One thing I forget to mention, but it's so important, is that you get up to 5 profiles. So I know you have 5 children, right? You can have all 5 of your children playing their own learning adventure. So it would individually map out different curriculum for each one, which is really
that is awesome. Yeah. Homeschoolers are excited about that, you know. So you pay one subscription and you can get five kids up to
Absolutely.
5. Okay. That's great. That's awesome.
Cool.
So I was wondering, what do you see as the biggest challenge when it comes to teaching children right now?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think in general, keeping their focus. And I think that goes for the homeschooling community as well as kiddos in traditional school as well. I mean, specifically too, for anyone who's learning at home with a classroom that's a Zoom, I have a hard time in my Zoom meetings, right? So like there's that element, but then anyone who's doing homeschool, you guys know it's hard to keep their attention. And this community has been set up for understanding that you need probably a unique space for your children to learn. And there's a lot of families who weren't prepared for that and prepared to have their kids learning at home. So keeping that focus in general is just probably really, really hard. And that's where it's like, make it fun, right? And I know we hear a lot of times like, are they learning? I'm not sure if they're learning. This is my first time teaching at home, or, you know, I don't know how to make it fun. They're learning, you know, whether or not you know they're learning. They're sponges, right? Like they're picking it up and they, you know, they're going to do it. But I think that's one of the biggest challenges right now is just maintaining focus, especially because there's not depending on where you live, I guess. We live up north. This 3 feet of snow, but I know you're in the south and you had some bad weather too. There's not as many activities to get, you know, the built up energy out when you can go outside, and there's not a lot of places people can go right now with the pandemic. So, you know, it's hard to keep that focus, especially when there's not a lot of things that they can do other than be at home. So,
right. And that's why it was so fun when I introduced this to my kids, because it was something new and it was something exciting, but it's been keeping, you know, they still have been engaged. They're not getting bored with it because like you said, it's intuitive and it's gonna, you know, keep going according to what they know and what they don't know. So,
yes. My little guy loves because he'll do the lessons. He loves, and he knows he's like learning, right? But there's another section. I believe it's called My Library, and there's like coloring in it. And like arts and crafts and stuff. And he like loves that too.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that it has a variety, you know, it's not just.
Absolutely. Oh, and there's also, I forgot to mention too, there's a parent dashboard. So parents can track the performance or progress of a child on their learning journey in a different view. And so they can see, you know, the hits and the misses and, you know, where we should probably emphasize a little more work. Maybe in their, you know, more traditional activity, but there's also an area for parents to do. We provide suggestions of offline activities. So if you don't want to do those activities within the app, you can do things offline, different printables, or things to do at home as well.
I love that. And that's essentially homeschooling, you know, whether you're a homeschooler or not, you know, if you're doing that, you know, if you send your kids to school and you do this on the weekends or whatever, you know, so I love that because it keeps parental engagement and, you know, nobody knows their child best, but the parent. The parent knows their child best. So if,
Yes.
they see, okay, my child is struggling with this, I can see this. So, let's get down on the floor with them. Let's, go over these activities. And, that's going to, speak volumes to the child, because they're getting that parent time and, even if it's just a little bit. So I love it. I'm so thrilled to hear that you have that option.
Oh, good. Yeah. You'll have to check it out. Cool.
So if you could give parents one piece of advice right now, what would that advice be?
Good questions. I would say for me, the thing that I've been doing is to celebrate every win. And maybe that's like obvious, but for me, it always wasn't. And especially right now, right? Because we don't get to see, at least for us, we don't, get to see our extended family right now. So it's like we're celebrating, and that's, hard, right? There are a lot of hard things, but like, let's celebrate the good things, no matter what size it is in our life, right? Like, so yesterday, my little boy, Griff, he's been working on getting his laundry in the laundry basket. Like, that's like a struggle.
I love it.
And he like took off his socks, and without me asking, he put it in there. Well, our whole 4-person family, we did a laundry dance. Like, let's celebrate like every little piece of the day, because right now everybody's like needs that positivity and they need the fun. And I would say the other thing I've been trying really to do is like be in it, right? Like, it's so easy for me to get my mindset about like, work or the things that I have to do. And I'm trying to remind myself to be silly and to be on his level or on my little girl's level, and take the time to like look outside and notice the squirrels and follow them. And he has like, he makes up stuff about like, where are they hiding their nuts? And, get into it with him, that's gonna, or with them. And that's going to make their minds and their imaginations go even further, and just be silly, right? Like, so when they give you your work, check it with like a magnifying glass and like a silly detective's accent. And,
that's cute.
It's just, I guess, just try and I would say, yeah, celebrate every win and try and be in it with them, right? Try to be a kid.
I love that. That's so beautiful. I mean, that's what our kids need. I mean, with everything crazy going on in the world, we are their world as their parents. So,
Yes.
If we can be strong, or we can, be lighthearted and have fun, I mean, that's what they need. So I think that's wonderful.
And I can see when I can tell, we call it in our house, we call it filling his cup or filling our cup, right? Like, so when you're getting down, you're just like kind of grumpy, like, my husband will be like, Tiff, you got to go fill your cup. Like, do whatever is going to make you feel good. We've been trying to be mindful about helping Griff with that too. Like, and it's just, it's really helps. Just look for the positive and, be silly, support each other.
So I would, we still have a few more minutes. I would love to hear if there's anything else in the LeapFrog brand that could help homeschoolers right now. We touched on the LeapFrog Academy, and in a few minutes, right now, actually, I'll just share, leapfrog.com/theoldschoolhouse. If they were to go there, they can get an incredible discount. Well, actually, no, a free trial.
Yes,
I think it's a 2-month free trial, yes. Right? Okay. So they go there. I mean, so just check it out, guys. It's incredible. I mean, my kids absolutely love it. But so I'm going to leave that on the screen for you guys to go check out. But what else, LeapFrog wise, would be beneficial to homeschoolers?
Absolutely. So a couple of our products that we've had in our product line for a while, but they're just so good, right? But they really blew up again this year because of people homeschooling and parents at home trying to find fun ways to teach. One of them is our Leap Reader. It is kind of like a stylist pen. It comes with books that are developed by educational experts. And as the pen touches, it's not a real pen. Don't worry, it won't like mark up your home. As it touches the words, it will read to the child. But there's different levels and activities that that the pen can change to based on the child's level of literacy. So if they want to just know the letters or the words, that's a really, really cool set, is our Leap Reader bundle. And then another one is our Leap Start. They all kind of start with Leap. Is our Leap Start, and very similar, but this one is more it's a larger hardware, and it kind of opens and it closes, and it comes with a stylus, and very similar in the fact that it will help with literacy skills. But there's books that specialize on math, social emotional skills, and there's also a lot of licensed books as well. So if your kiddo has like a special character that they prefer, like Paw Patrol or Peppa Pig, we've probably done a curriculum book on it. And
that is so great.
yeah, but we also have tons of stuff for littles too. So my littlest is 18 months, and I've been working with her on her speech development. So this past year, we've had a ton of people inquire about ways to get their kiddos started in that conversational type of speech at that young age. So we developed what's called Speak and Learn Bailey. She's this plush little puppy, and her ears flap wide, and she repeats the child in a really silly way to be very interactive, because it's really important for kids to hear what they're saying. And so she will repeat it back to them. So if she says, say the word banana, and they say banana, and she'll say banana.
That's really good. That's really good.
It's silly, and it's super, super interactive. But then again, all of her paws have different games and songs and stuff too. So lots of ways to play with Bailey as well.
I love that. That is so great. And it's funny. So as you're going through all the products, I totally forgot that I wanted to mention the Letter Factory, which was what actually taught my children, my 4 oldest, their letter sounds. I mean, so I bought it, 10 years ago when my oldest were younger, and they just would watch it over and over so much that it got all scratched up and doesn't work. So I went and bought another one with my younger ones, were at that age, because I'm like, it works. It works. They love it. I would just put that in, and within a few weeks, I knew all their letter sounds. And it's so incredible, and it's so simple. And then my kids were, Stephanie says she loves the Letter Factory. I'm not the only one. It's so great. And so, it's in the game, right?
Yes.
So my kids were playing the game. They're like, hey, it's the Letter Factory.
Yes.
And for
the LeapFrog brand has like tons of what we call IPs, or intellectual properties, Letter Factory, and the characters within the Letter Factory being one of them. And absolutely, yes, they're almost all included in the games of LeapFrog Academy. But the traditional Letter Factory is also available, I guess. I found out recently over summer that it is available on Netflix in case you want to watch it again.
That is so cool. Yeah. You say all the characters are in the game. I was laughing so hard because my kids were playing, and there was Urfer or something, like the Urfer says blessed or whatever. I'm like, they have even the fake letter in there.
Yes.
I was laughing so hard. I'm like, okay. Most people have no idea what I'm talking about, but can you tell I watched this video?
No, I know what you're talking about. I love it.
Yeah. So we love that, and parents, I think they just love LeapFrog, and it's so great to see that, they're engaged and getting kids engaged, in a way that they can, relate to kids now with using the app. I love that. I just think it's great.
Totally. No, I'm so glad you like it. Yes. I mean, we could never be what you guys are to your kiddos. It's just, we try to support in any way we can and help on each child's learning journey, right? So their success is our success. And I don't know if there's any better feeling than seeing your child confident in learning, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, like yesterday when Griff was like, he was eating a snack and he was like, crackers.
Yeah.
And he was like so proud of himself. Like that is so, like, that is where it's at, right? Like,
exactly.
And we live for that. That's the heart of our brand, and just helping in any way that we can. We like to do that where we can.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to share?
I think we got it all. I think we covered
awesome. Well, I'm just going to mention again, if you go to leapfrog.com/theoldschoolhouse, you can get your 2-month free trial. And I highly recommend you do that because this is an incredible app. So thank you so much. And thank you, viewers, for joining us for today's Homeschool Live. If you're new to homeschooling, go and check out the homeschoolingprimer.com for a free information pack. And I also want to mention that schoolhouseteachers.com has an incredible sale going on right now. The Hey Mama, We Got Your Back, where you can get awesome free tote that you can take on a picnic. It's really big and sturdy and awesome. So head on over to schoolhouseteachers.com and check that out. And thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time on Homeschool Live.